Shalom YouTube family, and welcome back to our channel. And if you're new here, welcome to the family. Today we're going to be talking about how much money you should save before moving to Tanzania.
And if y'all are interested in content like this, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video and click the notification bell down below to get updates on our newest videos. Three main things you have to take into consideration when moving to Tanzania are transportation, housing, and food. And that will be the basis for the cost of living here in Tanzania.
So the first topic we're going to get into is housing. Depending on what area you want to live in and how many bedrooms, how big your house you want, you could be spending anywhere from $200 to $800 USD per month. Say you get a $300 a month place, because obviously I'm assuming that y'all want to stay on the lower end.
Yeah.
So typically they want you to do a 6-month lease, which is paid in advance. So obviously that'd be $1,800. You can negotiate and try to get a 3-month lease, which would be obviously $900. And if you do it for a whole year, it would be $3,600. So that would be if you have a $300 a month place, because you are paying up front.
Right. And I wouldn't really go anything below that, because then you'll start living in areas that might not be as nice. So that would be a range kind of in between things.
And also, a lot of lower prices are going to be places that are further out, more ducked off. So you do have to think about that when coming, because when you first get here, obviously you're probably not going to get a car right off the bat. So you would have to think about transportation and how you're going to get to and from.
Yeah.
Depending on whether or not you get a furnished apartment or house, that could also be another expense you'll have to think about, because a lot of houses don't have furniture, and even with the furniture thing, it'll be like no refrigerator, no stove. So obviously those things aren't as much as they cost in America, but you would have to add that into your budget.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole range of prices for things like that. So you would just have to determine what kind you want to get.
Your basic utilities like water, electricity, gas, and internet will also be paid up front. Our first month in Tanzania, we spent about $100 between the both of us on utilities. And if you break that down, that's $50 between the both of us. I would say we're on the higher end of things, and necessarily that wouldn't be the bare minimum of what you want to bring. You probably could bring a little less than that and still live pretty well.
You do have to consider, things like what is your source of income. If you have some kind of online business or something like that, you're going to obviously need a lot more internet. So you're going to have to think about things like that going into your budget. To sum it up, if you're going to do, say, a $300 a month situation for a year, then you're going to need $3,600 for your rent. You're going to need, if you use a Delali, you're going to need 1 month's rent for that. So you need $3,900. You have to pay them another $300. And then for your utilities, we recommend at least $500 for the year, but that is completely dependent on you. You can use less gas and it can last longer. You can use less electricity, it will last longer. And for your monthly plan for your phone, you can get a lower amount and just get some more whenever it runs out. You don't have to start at the top.
Next, let's start with transportation. There are multiple different modes of transportation that you can take out here in Tanzania. For example, Uber, Bolt, or even bus.
So since we've been here, we basically spend about $1 to $5 per Uber ride. It could be different. Sometimes there's discounts. I know on the Bolt app, randomly, they'll give you like 16% off, something like that. But it's also going to depend on what kind of car you pick in the app.
In total, we recommend you at least bring $1,200 for public transportation for the year. If you're a person that wants to buy a car once you get here, then obviously the upfront cost is going to be a lot more than you riding public transportation. So that amount, we can't really tell you for like what you're going to spend or how much you should spend. But I would say the cars out here aren't much cheaper than cars like for say in the US.
So it's about what you could probably spend a couple $1,000, just like you can spend a couple $1,000 on a used car in America.
Yeah.
The only thing is you could possibly finance that through a bank in America. You need that cash here. So
we can't really give you the price on that, but just have a budget for how much you're willing to spend once you get out here for a car.
The next thing we're going to talk about is food. So obviously your food budget's going to be determined by what you like to eat, how much of it you like to eat, how many people are in your household, things like that. But it can be much, much cheaper than it is in America to get food here. So if you buy everything at like a traditional grocery store, it will cost more. There are stands like on the side of pretty much every road, every main road, where they're selling fruits and vegetables, where you can definitely get things a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And so if you're like vegan or something, you could probably get by off of like $20 for a week or something, because you don't want to buy too much fruits and vegetables at one time anyway, because it's fresh stuff. So imported things, if you want to get things that make you feel at home, like you want Cheerios, stuff like that, those things will cost you a premium. I said in a previous video that I wanted Oreos and they were expensive. They were expensive. So it depends on how you want to live. Obviously, there's things that are made in other countries or things that are made here that you can use as substitutes. But if you're trying to have everything that you had at home, you are going to spend
a lot more money.
A lot more money. Absolutely. Also, in your food budget, you want to think about eating out. Obviously, when you get here, you're probably going to want to at least taste some stuff. You can be driving by, they selling mishkaki, they got grilled chicken and stuff on the side of the road that smell good. You're going to want to get some food. So those things can add up as well. So you would want to have a budget for that, or limit how many times you do that. Places on the street, typically cheaper. You can get like mishkaki for like $500, which is change. It's under $1. You can get like chicken, maybe 5,000. It's like $2. So you can get things reasonably priced. If you're eating at restaurants, that's another animal. You could be spending close to what you spend in America, depending on where you go. So we've been spending about $150 to $200 on groceries. We do buy more things at the grocery store. Like fruits and vegetables, we always get those from like a stand, but like pretty much everything else. Like there's butchers and stuff where you can get meat and stuff like that. But we pretty much get everything at the grocery store. So we could be spending less money if we were trying harder to spend less money. Which we probably will start doing. Also, we did spend probably about $200 on eating out, which...
That was our first month.
Our first month, yeah. Which I felt like was good. We spent like 3 times that in America. So I felt like we did good, but we really did bad. We could have done way less than that. Obviously, eating at cheaper places or not eating out as much. We would recommend that you would do at least $100 a month per person for food. You can definitely get by on that. That's a lot of money. It really is dependent on what you're trying to buy, but that's a lot of money. So you should be able to get some of the things that you want as well as just the things that you need that are cheaper. So we would say about $1,200 for the year for each person. The next thing we're going to go into is travel. So depending on your visa, depending on obviously what country you come from, if you come from America, you will have to leave every 3 months. So that's like forced travel. You don't have a choice. So you're going to have to think about the ways in which you want to do that. If you have a family and you want to fly somewhere, that could get very expensive. If you want to take a bus somewhere, you could do that. That's significantly cheaper. Right. But it would be every 90 days. So
depending on if you have a tourist visa.
Yeah, if you have like a 1-year multi-entry tourist visa, which is what a lot of the Americans are getting in coming here. You would have to leave. And it does depend on where you go, because if you were in Dar es Salaam, you were a lot further from borders of other countries. So it's going to cost you more to get across the border. If you're like in Arusha, where you're closer near the border of somewhere else, obviously it's going to be a cheaper commute for you to get out of the country. But you still do have to stay somewhere or whatever, get a hotel overnight, Airbnb, things like that. In travel, we would say you could spend anywhere from $500 to $1,500 in leaving the country every 3 months per person, and that's dependent on whether or not you're going to take a bus to get out of here or a plane. Obviously, there are many, many ways, and there's many expats that you'll meet here that have hookups for stuff or know how to do something or know a cheaper way to do something. So obviously you can go that route, and that would definitely be helpful. But you do want to bring enough money just in case, because you're probably going to have to leave. You can do extensions, but you can't repeatedly do it, and you can't. I think they extended a month. So if you're supposed to leave every 3 months, they'll extend you like 30 days. So you'll be here an extra month. You still have to go. Now, this is going to be just like a bonus. This is also travel, but not necessary, okay? So, if you want to visit places, say you decide to stay in Dar, you want to visit Arusha, how much is it going to cost you and your family of 12 or whatever to get from Dar to Arusha, okay? Where are you going to stay? Things like that. So, you know, you want to go visit Zanzibar, beautiful. You can take a plane to Zanzibar. You can take a ferry to Zanzibar, which I don't know how much the plane costs, but I'm sure it's more than the ferry.
Oh, yeah.
So
I think it was about $100.
It was $100?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was about $100.
Yeah, I don't know. So you can do things different ways. Obviously, it's beautiful here and there's a lot to see. So you would likely want to see a lot of things, and it really just depends on your budget. You know, we recommend that everyone come with some sort of income, even if you're not making some sort of passive income now. Have something started before you leave so that eventually it can start generating something. And bring as much money as you can. You know, we're giving recommendations for, you know, minimums and things like that to be helpful, but the more the better, because you're gonna need money to live.
And you don't want to get out here and then start struggling immediately after being here. So take that in consideration.
And one of the other things that I feel like helps with that is, you know, trying to get in touch with people that are here when you get on the ground. Try to get in touch with people, you know, here before you come, because it is helpful when buying things to have someone who's been here and been doing it and can tell you, okay, no, this price is high, or no, this guy scammed my friend, or whatever, you know, because you don't know everything, and it's good to have people who have been here before you that can help.
And they know the prices. Yeah. Mainly Tanzanians. That's going to be your biggest help when being out here.
Right.
So to add up all the costs for the entire year per person would be $600 for utilities, $1,000 for transportation, $1,200 for food, $1,000 for miscellaneous things, because you just never know what could happen or what things you have to pay for when you get out here. And that would bring you to a total of $3,800 per person for a year. For housing, we recommend you bring at least $3,600, which would be equivalent to $300 a month, to just get in something that's nice and that's comfortable for you and your family. So adding all that together, you will have $3,800 per person on top of the $3,600 for the housing that you will have to spend.
So those figures together, the $3,800 per person, $3,600 if you get a $300 a month place. Those together would be about $7,400.
Yeah.
So that's just a recommendation for one person. And we are giving like the frugal number, so that's staying on the lower end. So it's completely doable here. Though.
But if you plan on coming out here doing a lot of vacationing, spending a lot of money on food and certain things like that, then obviously you probably want to bring a little more, but you only know you. We don't know you.
If you're trying to ball out, then bring more.
Also, if you already have additional income coming in, then you probably could bring a little less than what we're recommending, just because you have that monthly income.
So thank you for sticking around with us for another video. We appreciate you watching. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And we'll see you next time. Shalom.
Shalom.